Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you very much for joining me here today. I hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to take a quick look at Bitcoin. Before we do, just need you to know, not a financial advisor, I just love teaching people how to trade. So my goal is to help you become more of an efficient trader, and the idea here is obviously to learn something here today. And obviously if you need a little bit more guidance, more hands-on, so to speak, I have a trading community with that specific purpose in place. Link in the description below. Now, taking a look here at Bitcoin, here's kind of what's going on. Obviously, on the one-day chart, let's just go ahead and work with the straightforward indicators here for now, okay? Now, right now, we're basically testing the 200-day simple moving average. So the price broke below. This is technically the lowest point it's been since December 4th. So in the last 13 days, essentially, basically 2 weeks, right? We haven't seen a price this low yet. Now, it recovered quite quickly, and we're currently above 46,600. But if the one-day candlestick closes below 46.6, we can expect to see probably a bearish divergence to the downside. It feels like it keeps wanting to come down lower. I recognize that the support level is holding very well, but you can only test the support or resistance level so many times before it breaks. This seems like it's on the verge of breaking, so I definitely recommend waiting. Try not to just FOMO in just because of the fact that it feels like it's a really nice, effective low price. Yes, it could be the lowest price we're going to see in a long time, but it could also be a very high price in the short term, right? Because ultimately, people are taking their profits this time of year, and tax purposes, all that. It's no surprise that we're having some strange stuff going on. In addition to the fact that the industry right now is essentially at a I would say there's a lot more fear than necessary, right? Those things all factor in, so we got to kind of pay into that, and also understand too, not to just take positions for altcoins. Altcoins right now are getting damaged heavily from this. Okay, so you want to be cautious, you want to be patient. Again, dollar cost average if possible, but save some money, set aside to ensure that you can buy the next dip if it happens. I think it's more likely to happen than not at this point, based on how poor it's done the last 2 days. I know 2 days ago I was 80% likely of wanting, or expecting the price to continue to increase, but it didn't make those higher highs and those higher lows that we were expecting as well. Since that didn't happen, we have this bearish divergence that continues to occur. So just know that we're more likely to break to the downside than the upside at this point right now, based on the fact that we couldn't make any higher highs or higher lows. And instead of basically just right on 50,000 as being the goal, now our goal is 48,800. So if we can't break 48.8 on the one day, then we're going to be out of luck here essentially, and we're going to see the price continue to taper off. All right. So moving on to just say some normal standard indicators. We're under 50 on the RSI. That's pretty normal right now. We want to get back over 50 to be considered bullish for Bitcoin. That puts us somewhere in the range of 52 to 55,000 ultimately, at least in the longer term picture. Granted, if we stay at this point for a while, it might be a little bit lower, but we do need some type of reprieve for Bitcoin, and that would come with a breaking a resistance, which at this point keeps moving down at about 48.8. Okay, so round number 49,000 would be the new effective resistance for Bitcoin that we need to break above and close in the one-day chart to be able to see some type of turnaround, if you will, right? At least a light at the end of the tunnel. We have no light right now. It's getting dark, but not to worry you, of course, because again, big picture, I do feel confident that Bitcoin will recover. I don't feel like we're going to see triple digits in the near future, of course, or sorry, 6 figures rather. 100,000 plus. I think that ship has probably sailed for the moment. But again, history has a tendency of repeating itself. December is usually a pretty good month, at least on the 4-year cycle. That could essentially still come to fruition. But also bear in mind too that the 4-year cycle could not anticipate world events. It couldn't anticipate an epidemic and inflation, etc. Those are all things that kind of come to a head, and right now is really impacting things for us. Okay, so we just got to be patient. I know a lot of my community members are asking, why aren't we seeing any signals? Well, why get wrecked? Why send signals when they're only going to get stopped out? You want to be cautious, you want to be careful right now, and ultimately, we need to make sure that we're using best practice. All right, so looking here at Bitcoin on the 4-hour, here's kind of what's going on. Let's take a look at, of course, the traditional indications here. In other words, RSI is well under 50. We know that. It's been like that for a little while, but unfortunately, we couldn't hold above 50 on the RSI. That kind of basically just means that we're more so bearish on the micro or in the midterm, so to speak, and in that sense, we could see a recovery, but it's not, it's really hard to say at this point specifically what will happen, because the 50-day and the 200-day simple moving average working as resistances. And then, of course, if we take a look at TD sequential, we're probably getting closer to a bottom. Now, this is some silver lining, right? In other words, oftentimes when you see a 9 on TD sequential, it's time for a reversal. Well, we're at an 8 right now, and this could potentially even close higher. Of course, it does look like it's still struggling. But generally speaking, we're at an 8, so we shouldn't expect any further continuation of the downside. We shouldn't expect a 9, or if we hit a 9 rather, we shouldn't expect to go much further than that. In other words, if you're new to the channel, so sorry, let me explain this. TD sequential counts market exhaustion. It basically takes the 4th previous candlestick and continues to count up until it hits a 9. We're at an 8 right now, therefore we're at an exhaustive state or very, very close to one, so we shouldn't expect the price to continue much lower. Based on that sentiment alone, that's that's helpful, but that's not necessarily a guarantee, okay? Because again, TD sequential does help us understand that, but cryptocurrency is very, very good about defying those laws sometimes. And if the bottom drops out here and we cannot get get this next candlestick or two, in other words, the next 4 to 8 hours to close, just say higher than 46,600 or 46.7, then we're going to be in a pretty rough situation, because we can already see how low this tested. This is the lowest low we've seen since December 4th. So not great stuff, okay? Again, slight silver lining there in the sense that we could expect a turnaround based on the fact that we are near the bottom, at least of this exhaustive potential state. But I don't know. I'm kind of wavering here. Bitcoin's giving us all the signs that it wants to continue to break down, because we are definitely still seeing lower highs and lower lows. Okay, so just note we're not in great shape there. So once again, if you are insistent on taking a position, dollar cost average, please, but just do not use a lot of your total portfolio. Unless Bitcoin's your thing, right? If you want to do Bitcoin for the rest of your life and you just want to keep putting money into it here, that's all well and good. No worries. But ultimately, if you want to be able to have some diversity, perhaps be able to buy the next dip if it were to happen, which seems more likely now, then I would highly recommend you absolutely consider saving some money and putting some money aside. All right, so that's kind of where we're at there. Let's take a quick look at the cloud, and this is basically giving us every single sign of shorting, essentially. In other words, the price is below the cloud. We've got the baseline above the conversion line, and of course, lagging span is free and clear of any price action. So at this point in time, we ultimately have, unless we see a strong push to the upside, and bear in mind, this 1 hour candlestick did get stopped out, unless we get a really strong push here, and we're talking we have to be able to break about 47.5, we're probably going to see this continuation for a little while longer. So I mean, the Ichimoku cloud is basically telling us we have a short position open, you hold that short position. Okay, so that's simply kind of what it's telling us for right now. So ultimately, not bad shape, but not great. It's more neutral, I guess you could say, in the short term, because again, we are fairly exhausted. In fact, why don't we go ahead and take a look at TD sequential and see where we're at. We went down to a 7, went some sideways action, went down to a 6, and now down to a 5. There's potential we could see it go much lower, but again, it's really hard. It's kind of a coin toss right now, ultimately, because today being Friday, it's a normal day for it's a very normal red day, you could say, because whales tend to take the profits before the weekend, and then usually over the weekend, at least in the bull market, you'll see the price slowly recover because the layman, so to speak, people like you and I are investing in these coins, right? We're not driving the price action super high, but it does increase inevitably because there's less selling pressure. We haven't seen that much in the last couple of weeks. The last couple of weeks, the weekends have been pretty rough. So, with that sentiment alone, I would not recommend, just buying into the weekend because it's a weekend. That seems like it's kind of foolhardy. But again, we're at an exhausted state on the 4-hour time frame, right? So we should only see about 4 to 12 hours more of bearish sentiment. Again, traditionally speaking, that's what we should see. But if we cross this plane here, 46.3, 46.5, and we get the 1-day candlestick to close below anywhere along those lines, we're going to be in a pretty tough shape. Let's see here. We'll just go ahead and just do one last little take a look here at a few things. We can see that, within the last, let's go ahead and go with ever since we are on our highest point to our lowest, we still have the largest amount of volume accumulation at about 57,300. But you can see, though, right around 48.2 is secondary, largest amount of volume accumulation. So we are building that effective support level, but on the micro, you could say we're not looking great. But again, the macro, this is starting to build up, so to speak, and the more positions we have and the more average we get in this area, then the more likelihood it is to inevitably increase. So I would say the macro still looks good, but that macro, instead of being just say a week or two originally, it very well could be much longer than that. Like we could actually see this kind of experience or this type of momentum, sideways action, for lack of better terms, up until year end. because it is very common for the year end to, kind of be a tapering scenario, and then New Year's you see a lot of, a lot of growth based on the fact that, there's New Year's resolutions and a lot of crazy things going on with people and their mindset. But ultimately, the profits have been taken and the tax season has been locked, right? You got to understand, this is a money game. This is a money business. So ultimately, people are always going to do what's better for them financially, especially the whales, right? And sometimes locking themselves into specific tax brackets is an important thing before year end, right? Now, ultimately, that's kind of what we're looking at there. Not much else we really need to look at. Honestly, I mean, I can't think of much else we really need to identify except for the simple fact. You know what? Why don't we do this? Let's go one more step lower. Let's go to 15 and see where we're at for the volume weighted average price, and see if we're still within. We dropped below those standard deviation lines here. Of course, we can see that, and that ultimately led to the the retrace back up. Now that is good news. Let's go ahead and see one thing here though, because that could imply that we're kind of near the end. But let's see what we're looking at here for the, because we're back above the volume weighted average price. So this is a healthy sign in a sense. So we just want the VWAP to effectively hold, and then we might be able to see a continuation of the upside. So we do have some positive complementing factors here. Again, we're close to an exhausted state on the 4-hour, and then we also have the price back above the volume weighted average price. So the price being above VWAP is important because, again, this blue line here is taking the last 24 hours of volume and expressing it as a price. So based on the volume, again, even though there's a lot of selling pressure, there's probably a lot less buying pressure. That implies that we could see a push back to the upside. Right about 46,800 is the VWAP. If we can get that to hold for the next 3 to 4 or 5 hours, then we'll be in really good shape to be able to see that, because being above VWAP and EMA is important when taking a position on the small term, right? So if I was to be day trading this right now, that would be a good sign to take a position to the upside. Once again, though, swing trading is a much different story right now. I do think that the next week or two, we could see a continuation of the downside, but ultimately the very short term here, this is kind of giving us a little bit of a bullish indication on the very, very short term, right? So you got to understand, more so, if you're scalping, etc., this is the only reason why this is relevant. But if you are not day trading, which most of you are not, don't pay attention to this too much, because this can give you false signals on the longer time frames, okay? I think the important thing to identify is just to pay attention to the 4-hour chart and to kind of see, ultimately, first of all, how much further are we going to be going down here? And then also, too, pay attention to the simple moving averages, right? If we can break back above the 50, we can get the price up over 47.5. Ultimately, we really need to see the price over about 48.8. Then we'll be in good shape. So the one-day candlestick has to close above, right around 47, 48,000 to have any kind of hope here. Okay. So that's ultimately what we're looking at there. Yeah, I would say the 1-day and the 4-hour candlesticks are more relevant in this case. Try not to worry too much about the short term, unless of course you are considering, day trading at this point. But all in all, that's kind of where we're at there. Hope you found benefit, of course. If you do, comment below, like and subscribe if you haven't already. Consider joining my Patreon trading community, and we'll look forward to seeing you next video. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.